Yes, I want to import multiple files. Skip it a bit. And everyone's gonna be like, what happened? Alright, I turned this on live.
Oh no, we're live. I don't know where the notes are.
Dang it, Tom. They're in the
What?
folder.
I just looked I'm in the folder.
Refresh the page.
March 21, 2021 shows. Oh wait, never mind. Today is the 10th.
What did you think it was?
Later, not the 10th. Mm-hmm.
Right, you have one job to do.
Which is
Know your dates.
that's too much.
I know your limits, Master Wayne.
Look at his ferocity.
I see. I see belief. I see the training of Ra's al Ghul.
Oh, man, I gotta work on his. Because, like, the key to doing a Michael Caine accent is to say his name, but make it sound like he's saying my cocaine.
That's right.
Yes.
For y'all that didn't know that, you keep that trick in your back pocket.
Yep, my cocaine.
Or you can watch The Trip, and they give you a perfect little, God, I just want to move one image, and it won't. Son of a snitch. Y'all just not gonna get no photos. Y'all just not gonna get no pictures tonight. That's what's going on. Tom be doing that sometimes.
What?
Tom be going out of focus sometimes. I know, Taryn. I know. He just don't want to. He don't want to be in focus.
I haven't taken my Adderall today, so.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
We're going there. Is that what we're doing?
Yep.
We're making mental health jokes.
Always. Because that is my life.
Our life, Tom.
Yes. We are a mental health joke.
Oh. Now I'm sad.
So just shooting the crap while we prep.
Photos.
While you fix photos. This is a wonderful advertisement for the product that you use to publish onto Facebook.
For the product I use to publish on the Facebook.
Yes.
They ain't paying me by the hour.
I've been kind of shopping for cars a little bit for maybe the summer. And I was looking at Audis.
Of course you did.
And it's super frustrating because, like, a 2 or 3 year old so like a 2020 is SQ5 is 50,000. 2018 SQ5 is 46,000. A brand new one is about 60,000. 62 completely clapped out. And like, it just, they do not diminish as well as they should.
Well, that's good news, isn't it? For the people that already have it, but for you,
yes.
You're like, WTF, mate.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I think it's like, looking at it, it's about 64 out the door with a destination charge.
Where's X-Men gonna go?
Whatever happened to like losing half the value when you drive it off the lot?
Nah, man. Can't have that, man.
I've also been watching Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, why is he doing that to himself?
Because was scrolling through and I saw it, and I'm like, oh, there's that.
There's that.
And then I
That's
said,
how that conversation went.
I was just like, is this the one where Paul Walker dies, or is it the other one? So then I decided to watch it to like figure out what is CGI Paul Walker, because sometimes that is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah.
All right.
But you're not keeping the blue blockers on?
No, that was only for when I was typing out a bunch. You know, I wear them all day at work, so try to block some stuff there.
You put them on, and it's a shocker, man. You love these blue blockers. God, wow.
Get out.
I remember that commercial. I can't remember any formula from physics. That's really maddening.
Mm-hmm. How's everybody doing out there tonight? Good to see you. Taryn, thank you for chiming in early, talking to us. I see Imminent Doom out there as well. Good to see you, Steve. Wait, I saw Taryn's messages pop. There we go. Yes, Taryn, they were blue light lenses. We did that. Usually wear those while I'm gaming, which has not been a lot. Wait, I'm no longer what? Clark Kenneth. He's now Super Commander. Get out. Get out. Feels like I'm going to be saying that a lot tonight.
Yes. Today is the day of puns.
Today is the day of puns. All right. On this episode of the Commander Shipp Show, we were going to be giving our final reactions on WandaVision. I know we had a great discussion last night on the Quorum. So this is the opportunity for Tom to get... Yes, I took my glasses off. Deal with it. Messing up the intro, Taryn. You're messing up the intro. I'm going to keep it in there. I'm not even going to edit it in post. For the folks that are listening to this on the podcast, blame Taryn. All right. So this is a good Tom opportunity to give his thoughts on the finale. I'll also chime in a little bit on mine, but I gave a lot of mine out on Tuesday, but I'll chime in a little bit. And then just a final wrap up on our thought on the series as a whole. We also have a few Marvel nuggets drop in here as well tonight. There was some more Joss Whedon news. I am going to shoot an episode of that this weekend, and just talk about that in one episode so that people can have an opportunity to figure out what they want to pull from that. I just don't want to dump. There's a lot, and I just don't want to dump all that into this episode. Additionally, Taryn also researched some great articles that I'm going to save for Super Blurred Variety Hour next week. So, yeah, because there's a couple of Falcon and Winter Soldier things I want to talk about, but it's like, yeah, we're going to focus on some box office stuff that's happening this week because there's a lot, and then we'll recap on WandaVision. But Tom, how are you doing?
I'm just ducky this Wednesday. This Happy Mario Day.
Happy Mario Day.
Yeah, March 10th. Mar 10 Mario.
I'm upset.
You should be.
And I mean, you're not wrong.
No.
But I'm still upset.
You own that. You embrace that. Hug it and then shove it down into your gut and die someday with it.
Thomas.
Yes.
Thomas. All right.
Yes. It's also 4 days away from Pi Day.
That is true. Are you looking forward to Pi Day?
I am hopefully going to get some pies from Who's Your Mama either today or tomorrow. They make delicious pies.
That's so disrespectful.
What?
Who's your mama? I know who my mama is. How dare you?
Hoosier, as in Indiana Hoosier.
Ah, that makes more sense. I'm sorry, my Midwest isms didn't just click in there because I have been born with those. I did not.
I
didn't get that package installed.
I swore I've taken you there, but
Oh, you have not taken me there. Maybe
then
you've ordered it and it's been at the house.
It's probably been at the house. Definitely,
We have not. We have not partaken outside of the domicile with that.
I mean, it's a hole in the wall because it's like the entire store is dedicated to baking. So you've got like 4 seats to sit in to eat a pie. So most of the time it's just get your pie and get out.
Like your taco place. Ah.
Yes, exactly.
That's how it should be. Man, I need some horchata. I need some good
Yes.
horchata. All right. So soon. So did you get to see Raya and the Last Dragon this weekend?
I did not. And actually, I'm kind of curious about whether or not I will at this point. Did you?
Not yet. I'm hearing some great things on it. I'm hearing some other. The reaction is interesting, but I also can't read. So for folks that are wondering why I'm not diving, I try not to. If I'm going to review something, which I am going to do of this movie, I have a kind of strict standard that I'm not going to really read full reviews on it because I don't want to write my review and it be regurgitation of what other people have already written or said on it. But I'll just go off fan reaction I've seen so far. A lot of people have liked the cultural representation that's been in it, and that's the thing that stood out the most of how strong that has resonated to people. And attention to detail, avoiding issues of colorism as far as like having a diversity of even just skin tones and palettes. So that's been highly praised, and just attention to detail as far as like way characters are designed and the way the clothing moves or certain things like that, or way things that they're saying or cultural touchstones. I've heard a lot of fantastic news on that front. So that's kind of what I'm excited about. But I also feel like I should probably phone a friend and see if there's someone else willing to help me with the review, because there's going to be things that aren't going to hit me that might hit someone who that's closer to. So
Yeah, I was excited about the idea of Aquafina in it. I'll see almost anything with her in it, so
yeah,
maybe I will still go see it. But I'm kind of waiting for a couple people to weigh in on it as well.
The unfortunate thing, people are talking about it coming in third in the box office in China, not doing well here in the U.S. And I mean, Tom and Jerry, it barely got 33 million worldwide.
Yet it was number 1.
Yeah, and yet it was number 1. So I'm not people that are prognosticating doom and gloom because of this. Like, it was already, the box office numbers were just already going to be terrible. So I'm not gonna, one, I don't think we should judge a movie based on these numbers, and then 2, it's like if someone poorly performs, if a quarterback poorly performs having no help, what did you expect was going to happen? Or insert your metaphor of someone that needs support in order to be successful at said job or task. It's like, that's not feasible.
No.
I mean, heck, even a Chris Nolan Tenet movie did not do that well. I don't know if it's gotten over 100 million yet.
I don't think it has. And that the other thing, like this, about $1.2 billion worth of box office in China over the Lunar New Year, like that also hasn't necessarily, I don't think that that's a factor for mainland China to be interested in a Disney movie during their Lunar New Year.
Yeah, and I didn't get this. I apologize, folks. I did not get to pull up what the box office was as far as like what movies were playing and available to them during the New Year holiday for them.
That would be like people being surprised that McDonald's egg rolls are not doing as well as some other major Chinese restaurants in mainland China.
You'd be like, yeah, of course they're not. What we got going on the stream? Kenny looking like a 70s used car salesman in those glasses.
Wow.
Yeah, that's. But I need a collar then. I need to get a collar.
You need a brown and white checkered shirt.
I need a handlebar mustache.
Oh yes.
Gold chain underneath it too. Like, look here, son. This Buick right here.
Slap it on the. And every once in a while, you just do. You ready to take it for a ride?
And it's like, can I ride it by myself and not have you in the car?
Oh, but what's the fun in that?
All right. Some more box office news. It seems like Avatar and Avengers Endgame are just going to keep doing this box office pecking match forever. Because in the Chinese box office, Avatar is just 7.4 million behind Avengers Endgame, and they're going to specifically go back to theaters, probably to try to retake the crown. And this is getting a little ridiculous.
Well, one, this shouldn't count. This really should not count. It's been over a decade.
But it does, Tom.
I mean, there should be a cutoff within its original run period. And also, like, when I read this, I had the quote from Thor in Avengers 2. You were all weak and petty. For them to do this.
That's a pretty good one. That's a good one. I liked Endgame getting it because I hate Avatar.
Yeah.
So, like, the only investment I have in this number is just I don't want Avatar to have it. But I don't actually care about, like, box office numbers aside from just the health of the industry. Like, if people maybe we should repeat that because it's been a while since we talked. And it's probably been a year since we talked about it. I think we talked about this last year. I do not care how much money a movie makes. I really do not. If you go see it, enjoy it, fine. I have only
other than rooting for its success, right?
Yes, yeah. I want it to be successful. So yeah, and box office numbers can be a good indicator of that. But when it comes to like records, I do not care. That is capitalism at its max, right there. And I don't really have a dog in that fight. So this is what
do you think we'll?
Go ahead.
Do you think Cameron will re-release Titanic as well? Or will he just bank it all behind Avatar?
Gosh, he would.
He would.
He would. I would not put it past him.
Because he wants to have that number 1 and number 2. Because I think Titanic was number 2 when Avatar, or was number 1 when Avatar took it over.
Correct. So he beat.
So he had 1 and 2 up until Endgame. So he's probably pretty salty about that.
Get over it, son.
Yeah, go back. Dive into the Mariana Trench or something like that.
Also, I should do a breakdown on that year to really figure out, like, could nothing beat Titanic? Really? It must not have been a good year.
I mean, that was what, 2000 or 99? So, like, it had The Matrix and Fight Club and other things like that, but
I think Titanic was 97.
Oh man, like I'm just thinking, like, okay, it had young Leo, a love story, a period piece, and everybody loves the Victorian era, and
good old dash of classism,
just before everybody dies. So, like, you know, it was a perfect storm for films, in that, you know, it had some action and it had some, like, it was possibly the most tolerable romantic movie from that time.
Oh gosh, I guess tolerable, and a memorable scene that no one will ever shut up about it. But which scene am I talking about? See.
The dinner party.
The dinner party. Well, you could you could take the steamy car, or you could be draw me like one of your French girls.
Or
the violin crew playing as the ship goes down.
Or share the damn door.
Yeah, those are the 4 scenes. That's all you need to know about Titanic. Watch those 4 scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Lindy Fitness asks, were there any black extras in Titanic? I assume so, but I don't know.
It's a good question. Better question, or the sadder question is, were there any black extras that survived the Titanic?
Tom!
Sorry.
You can't say things like that.
Moving
on!
We know the answer. It's sad. Thanks, James Cameron.
Things are a little bit more exciting, though. We now know who our Powerpuff Girl live-action actresses are going to be. So this is the live-action Powerpuff Girls coming to the CW. If you remember, Chloe Bennett from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Dove Cameron from Descendants, and Yana Perrault from Jagged Little Pill, they're both set to be the leads in this new live-action pilot for the Powerpuff Girls. Now, I did not realize this when we initially reported on Powerpuff Girls because I thought they were just trying to reboot the animated series, but they are going to... So I'm like, you're going to get little kids to do this?
Live action?
Yeah, it is going to be live action. It's going to be... The Powerpuff Girls have grown up, and they're a little disillusioned with how they were superheroes as kids. So I'm getting some like Umbrella Academy vibes.
Some Young Justice vibes.
Yeah. So it's like, do they want us to continue to use their powers, even though they're older, that mantle of responsibility kind of thing? So that's an intriguing premise to me. I definitely like that better than let's just cast older adults to play the younger kids, or if they were going to get kids to do it. This is infinitely more interesting to me.
Yeah, this could be. I'm kind of curious as to how they're going to do a live action, because Powerpuff Girls was just, the animation style was so I'm trying to think of the correct word right now. The word in art where things are not they were almost like Picasso's. Everything was angular and jaunty and everything else, and so seeing them in human form is going to be a little weird.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. Weird. It's gonna be weird. Weird. No? Get out.
No.
Nope. All right, how about some DC news?
Back to a clip show, as Taryn wants.
Back to a clip show. All right. We got a Madame Rouge casting for Doom Patrol Season 3. Sorry, lost my notes. Michelle Gomez. So if you watched Season 1 of The Flight Attendant, you most recently saw her there. But she was also Madame Satan in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It's had some other roles like Doctor Who, Gotham, Green Wing. So I'm very curious to see how she pulls off this role.
Yeah, and I think Doom Patrol is possibly one of the best TV shows that DC has ever produced. I like it. I actually liked it better than Titans by a significant amount.
Titans Season 1 doesn't know what the heck it's doing. It's lost its dang mind.
And I forgot, I haven't finished Season 2 because I decided to watch Doom Patrol Season 2 instead.
You made a good decision.
And the cast is fantastic. I love the fact that Brendan Fraser's working again. I love the fact that he has a catchphrase, which is something that we all say. And just the show, it's so well done, but it still doesn't take itself seriously. Mm-hmm. The great line from episode 4 or something like that. And I forgot the character's name, but the Elastigirl, if you will. Apparently she has sex with a guy who flexes, Flex Johnson or something like that. And her orgasm apparently summons a sex demon and almost destroys the world at the end of the episode.
It's like some It Follows stuff going right there.
Yes. But Brendan Fraser's like, hey, can we just talk about the fact that her orgasm almost ended the world for a second, please? seasons, and everyone just glosses over that.
Wow.
But yeah, it is a fantastic show. I look forward to seeing what they do next.
I know you might be like, whoa. Whoa.
Nope. It fits. It works.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yes, trust us. Hopefully we've built enough of a rapport with you all that you'll trust us on this.
Yes. It is a great tongue-in-cheek show.
Let me jump back. Lindy Fitness giving a wow probably to what you just said. And then before, so they're angsty teens now. So apparently they're going to be 20-somethings. So going back to the Powerpuff Girls. So this is like one of the notes that was that they're kind of disillusioned that they kind of lost their childhood. They really didn't get an opportunity to be kids, teenagers, because they were off saving the world and have kind of separated off. So now they're in their 20s-ish trying to come back together for something that's, I don't know, Mojo Jojo's back out or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there's no way in heck that Chloe Bennett could play anything but a disillusioned person going through their quarter-life crisis right now.
The city better be called Townsville. Don't get cute with this. You better not try to we need to set it in a real place. Let's make it New York. Like, no.
Nope.
And I want every intro to do just like the show. All right. The city of Townsville. All right. I need that. I need that every episode.
Is it okay if they show you like a skyline that is clearly a city that like New York or San Francisco or...
Oh, that would be even better.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, we know this is we know this is San Francisco, but it's Townsville.
Fly over up towards the Chicago skyline, the city of Townsville.
Or heck, even like Hodgepodge it. Like, take some shots that are like just, wait, is that Tokyo? Wait, are we...
That's effort. That's a lot of effort.
Like, what's going on?
Yes. A fly every time they fly, it's a different city underneath.
It would be insane. Yeah. All right. So, Tom.
Yeah.
We're so excited for the Snyder Cut. We're just frills over here. We're just
that's a word to use.
Well, you could have we could have cut our 4-hour watch time by an hour this past Monday. We could have gotten part of the torture past us if we had been ready to watch Tom and Jerry on HBO Max. So you watched it during the weekend. If you had just waited till Monday, you could have watched an hour of the Snyder Cut instead.
Oh joy!
Oh joy!
Oh joy! Oh joy, Stimpy or Ren.
Customers who are attempting to access Tom and Jerry instead found out that they were watching Justice League, the first hour of Justice League. Someone screwed up. That movie isn't supposed to come out until next week on the 19th, or if you're going to stay up late on the 18th, which I'm not going to. I will give you a review, but I'm not staying up for it. I'm standing by that.
In fairness, someone screwed up by allowing Zack Snyder to do his Snyder Cut.
Hey! You're not wrong, but
nope.
No one wants to hear that opinion from us on it, so we'll let it go. The Snyder fan continuum, I don't know what to call them at this point, Snyder fanboys, just doesn't seem to hit quite the Snyder cult.
What would be a word like coven but starts with S?
Foven.
S though.
Snoven. The Sniden. We're doing terribly on these names. I'm gonna stop trying to name stuff. All right.
The Snyder set.
The what?
The Snyder set.
The Snyder sect.
Set or sect.
Sect. Sure, I'll allow it.
Thank you, because I really love alliterations.
So the Snyder fans for this movie have lost their mind on Twitter, claiming that Warner Brothers is trying to sabotage it ahead of its release next week. And
Jesus.
No fans, they're not. Warner Brothers is just that incompetent.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not trying to take this out on the poor technician that probably messed this up. Like, legitimately Or maybe they were trying to. Maybe this kid was actually trying to just get it out and watch it for themselves. So hey, kudos to you if you're. I'm not advocating for that. Cough, cough. But if that's what you were trying to do, whatever. But no, Warner Brothers just. I'm not going to give them any ill intent on this. They're just They're not having the best year and a half, to be completely honest. It's been downhill since 2017. If we're going to be honest,
they've been screwing up a lot. One of them is allowing Snyder to do this in the first place. So, why is this a surprise? Also, we got Joss. We've got the whole.
Honestly, Josh could just fill the first 5.
Yeah.
If you're making a list, just fill the first 5.
and then we've got how they've handled, J.K. Rowling crap, how they handled Johnny Depp, how they handled, what's her face that married Johnny Depp,
Amber
Heard, and yeah, the list goes on and on. Warner Brothers needs a complete reorg from the top down.
Yeah, but they're making that HBO Max money, and they got that AT&T deal, so they do not care. They do not care.
No,
it's atrocious.
Yes.
And other things that are going to make Tom roll his eyes. Bruce was going to get married to Lois and have a child.
Oh man, that one is just.
Hey,
why?
This ain't even really Superman. So so what was the real difference? Like, how can we? What does it matter?
That could be a legitimate point. Yes, that. And none of this is actually the Justice League. This is all in name only, and because none of the characters are real, and
yeah.
I guess that means that Superman and Wonder Woman are going to have a kid.
See, now if that was where they were going with it, I would have understood, with the exception of, then why did you let Bruce and Wonder Woman go ahead and get close in the previous? So even storyboarding that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
That's simple. So that Snyder can then get Batman and Superman to fight again over a woman instead. And
again, that could be where the nightmare sequences were coming from. Is that you got to protect Lois, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then why waste time setting Wonder Woman and Bruce up in BVS and getting to that weird voice tone when I can't get out of it?
Because we know this of Snyder. He has no concept of continuity and connective tissue in stories. He doesn't understand any of that. He's just interested in, oh man, it'd be cool if Bruce and Lois had a kid, and then Superman's really upset about it, or something along those lines. We know that half the movie half of BVS led up to, it'd be cool if Superman, a guy who can just easily float in the air, stood on the hood of the Batmobile. That'd be cool, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's absolutely not.
Come on, Tom. Embrace it. Embrace the terribleness.
Check out my sleeve. That tells you all that I'm a cool director.
Hey, his sleeve roll does look good. I'm not gonna lie.
It can, but also,
I'm just saying I don't want to diminish sleeve roll just because I'm upset at Zack Snyder.
Yes, I don't have faith that Zack Snyder genuinely wanted the sleeve. I think that he's cultivating an image more than he is fulfilling something.
Let's see. Lenny Fitness is saying F his sleeve and said, "Wait, what?" That is the appropriate response to the Lois Bruce news that we dropped. That's just... you know what? Next time we get something that crazy, Tom, let's just use that and then move on. Don't even... It's we won't even give any additional commentary. And yeah, and then Superman was gonna, have a Holy Trinity re-represented in the movie. And... Wait, what? And moving on.
Yes. Oh, no. Anyway.
Oh, no. So we're getting Lena Waithe has been busy. They have been producing their ass off. The past 2 years. And the next thing they've got coming down the pipe is a horror anthology series called Dim it's premiering very soon. So we've got less than a month for this to come out. So it'll be Friday, April 9th on Prime Video. They recently took a dip into horror with Bad Hair, which is also on. It was either on Hulu or Prime Video. And so the creator of this, Little Marvin, Lena Waithe, is producing. It's a limited series regarding terror in America. 1950s set season is focused on a black family who moves from North Carolina to an all-white Los Angeles neighborhood during the period known as the Great Migration. If you don't know what that is, look it up. And then their home becomes ground zero for all sorts of mythological, spooky monster kind of nonsense focusing on their house. So, Tom, what do you think about that premise?
I think that's kind of interesting. Also, I think it reminds me a little bit of a certain TV show that we like a lot.
Oh, Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
I want more of that, so I'm good with this.
Yes.
But it does seem that... So, Lovecraft was more camp, and just from what I've seen from Lena Waithe do so far, I don't know if that will be the case here. I think when they say horror, I think that's what they're really going to lean into more. It's like, yes, Lovecraft Country had horror elements, but it had some camp to kind of take the edge off of it. I don't get the sense from this that they're going to do that.
Yes. Yeah. So, I think that this will be a little bit more serious.
Which is crazy to say even when we're like, because Lovecraft Country was serious, but
it was, yeah. I'll be kind of curious to see, like, because I didn't feel a lot of camp with Lovecraft Country, but maybe
I think it's just in the way that they. I'm trying to think of how I would say it.
Because like the twins chasing the daughter around, that was genuinely horrifying. Actually, not necessarily campy.
Pulp. Sorry, I don't want to say camp. It would be pulp.
Okay. Yes, I can see that. Yes.
So both of them might. Okay, so maybe that's a better way to say it. They both might be pulpy in the way that they present their violence, and Lenny Fenton said brutal, and I would agree with that. It just seems like maybe. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I'll shy away from saying comedic or like campy. The edge might be a little sharper on them. It seems like it might be more in the like Get Out and Us territory. Even though they are going to have kind of like a supernatural bents to it as well. Cool.
Yep.
All right. I am going to dive into this a little bit more next week on the Blurred Variety Hour, but African American Film Critics Association has picked Shaka King's Judas and the Black Messiah as the best film of the year, and I concur. And having it's tough because of Ma Rainey. But I don't. This is what. Hey, I don't. I don't really like. That's a good thing. If it's like, oh man, I can't choose between these two. It's like that's not a bad thing. It'd be different if I was like, man, you got to give it to Judas because there's nothing else to pick. It's like that's not the case. You could have also made a good case for One Night in Miami as well. So I would have also have been fine with that. But I know a lot of people haven't really gotten to see that one yet, or if more attention's been on like Judas and Ma Rainey. But let me scroll down.
The good news is that all those movies have forced out any hope of Sonic the Hedgehog getting an Oscar.
Good. Sonic didn't need no Oscar. No way.
No.
Maybe special effects. Maybe they can.
Or Jim Carrey.
You know what? They probably should get a special effects nod just for listening to people when they screwed up the first time, and we're like, we can make this better. We are sorry. And then they listened, they fixed it, and then actually did pretty well for themselves.
I mean, I expect them to get a non-televised Oscar for something like that, because don't they have like, production management Oscars and other things like that
They
nobody
sure do.
knows about. So yeah, I think that
It's always on the list when you look at it later the day after. But
yes,
yeah,
scroll,
there's all this list of people like, what? Huh?
scroll.
What are you talking about? So, a reminder for Oscars will be April 25th. I'll definitely be covering that. Don't know if we'll be covering it live. Maybe me and Tom could suit up that night and drink beer and talk some other stuff, and then just haphazardly talk about some of the wins.
April 25th, you said?
Yeah.
There might be a small chance of vaccination by that time.
Tom, say it ain't so. So the wins of the African American Film Critic Association, Best Picture was, again, we said Judas and the Black Messiah. Regina King got Best Director for One Night in Miami, and then Best Actor was Chadwick Boseman, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. So it's I don't know if that will be the Oscar lineup. Like, I know they'll get nominated. I don't know if that will be who wins. I still need to go through a couple other movies. I think Minari and Nomadland, like Chloe Zhao and Lee Isaac Chung, respectively, for those two movies, are gonna give it a run, give One Night in Miami and Ma Rainey a run for its money, along with Judas and the Black Messiah. Like, this is a really good field. Surprisingly, in a year where we did not get a lot of movies, we have a stacked, diverse field to actually choose from. So I'm happy. I'm a little surprised, but I'm happy.
I'm pretty happy too. I'm kind of glad that like people who were producing, say, Sharknado 8 decided to wait a year. Though actually, I mean, this year has had a lot of B movies come out, which I don't even have hopes for Oscars, but I still think that's kind of interesting and something that we should explore at some point, because some of them are potentially terrible, but there could be some gems in there as well.
But so that gets to a topic that's been floating around in my head, and yeah, we won't start that now, but basically the concept is, what were the best movies during the pandemic? Not necessarily the best movies. So like, what were just kind of like when we were talking comfort movies a week or two ago, and it's just like, what was one that you just enjoyed that came out during that time period? And again, it doesn't have to be. So we might even just take off the big names off of it. So just like, I know these ones are going for best actor stuff. Like, we're gonna take them out of the running. So it's just like, what were, to your point, like that B level? It was enjoyable, had a little bit of action, or maybe it was more comedy, and it just
Shadow in the Cloud. Shadow in the Cloud. It was Chloe Grace Moretz's other film. Okay. Oh,
yeah. Well,
I still want to talk about how bad that was. It was so bad that I actually somewhat enjoyed it. Oh, yeah.
Was it Midnight Sky bad?
I don't know if I've seen.
Yeah, you have. Clooney and the ice station, or the Arctic.
Oh yes, I did.
Arctic station.
It's worse.
Okay.
But better.
Midnight Sky is like that might be what I would consider B right now. Because it just,
even though it has Clooney.
Yeah. It just is. It just, like,
yeah. It was an hour of your time.
The concept's like, it's like you had some things, you just didn't really, you didn't nail it, and because you didn't nail it, it just makes it lackluster. It's like the technical design, you hit it's like you color, like, yeah, you did technically colored in the boxes, technically colored in the circles, and if this is a multiple choice, multiple answer kind of quiz, like, you gave an acceptable answer. It just, you could have seen this for a little bit better. I think that's how I would describe it.
Yeah, I mean, I desperately want to talk about this, but we would need the spoilers queue up, and because like the way that they end this movie, Zach Landis wrote and directed it, I think, or at least he wrote it. I don't know if he directed it, but
he didn't direct it.
Get what he was going for when he wrote what he wrote. But dear God, man, So we'll save that for next week or next time we do that.
Cool. So we do have confirmation, even though a lot of people were wanting it to happen in WandaVision, which we'll get to in a moment, of more X-Men things being dropped. The current things we're hearing out of Marvel is that X-Men will debut in Phase 4, so we're not going to have to wait until another phase for them to come out. And that we're apparently going to get either a series, a movie, or they're going to be dropped in as the mutants. So it wasn't confirmed whether that's actually like a... Because again, I had to say movie or series because I don't know for sure. We haven't gotten a confirmation of this. So a lot of this came out along with the news that Deadpool 3 will be R-rated. Of course, I don't know why Blade couldn't be R-rated if you're going to do that with Deadpool, but, that ain't none of my business. All right, fine.
Wait, Blade isn't going to be R-rated.
Tom! Oh, you may not have been here that week. That might have been the week you were off. Yeah. Blade, they're not going to make it R-rated.
Oh, man. Then they're going to probably have Ryan Reynolds make it. They need to have Ryan Reynolds make a cameo.
That would be great. Or at least like a joke in mid-credits, something. I'd be cool with that.
Oh, hey, you're that Blade guy, aren't you? Oh, yeah, that could be fun. Mm-hmm. Them having to team up together in a mid-credit or end-credit scene.
Yeah. But again, even with this news, it's still not really good. Like, I gave you a title. I gave you it might be a movie or a series. It seems like it's so early in development that they don't really know what this means yet. The only thing that seems a little weird is there's a lot of movies already announced for Phase 4. So I'm kind of wondering how long this phase is going to be. Is it going to be as long as Marvel Phase 3 was, which was 2 to 3 movies, or no, it was 3 movies every year until we hit
Endgame.
Yeah, because even an Endgame year, it was Captain Marvel, Endgame, and Spidey.
Yep.
So that's a lot. And then we had what's that? No, Ant-Man and Wasp was after Infinity War.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So that year it was Black Panther, Infinity War, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp. And now that we've backed up because of COVID, I guess part of me is like, I don't know. It just seems like there's gonna need to be some kind of juggling of the phases. Unless there's gonna be a lot of X-Men heavy on the back end, which I'm not complaining. If we get that, and we get some other, like get them teaming up with other Avengers teams and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You will hear it here first. I will shut up and just enjoy what they give me. Or if we get some Avengers versus X-Men action going on, maybe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, though I lament the fact that there won't be a Tony Stark versus Professor X moment of some type where they match wits.
When did that happen? Remind me.
It never happened, but I want it to happen.
I mean, I think the closest we could get is a what if.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it also just depends on how done is RDJ with Marvel. Like, yes, I understand that Tony's dead, but does that mean like he can't pop up in some kind of like alternate flashback or just like alternate continuity branch, things like that.
We'll see. I mean, listen, a dump truck of money has a lot of power. And...
It sure does. Lenny Fitness saying Dragon Balls. I mean, I don't believe the Infinity Stones are really gone. So someone collects those things back together and be like, and Tony, and right back. Also, am I the only one? Okay, you know what? Side note, rant. I get that the Soul Stone. Oh gosh, no, we're not. I'm not going to start that one. I'm not going to start this rant because I will be here forever. Basically, the topic is Tony Stark is a jerk in Endgame, and I know you're thinking, but Tony Stark's a jerk in all the movies, but specifically, you have and this might be more directed at the Russo brothers, but you have the Infinity Stones. Why do you need to make everyone stick with what happened in the past 5 years, right? because I think everyone walked into that theater thinking, okay, there's going to be some kind of reset back to, I don't think anyone thought there was going to be any kind of time skip. I think everyone thought, oh, we'll be here in 2017. We're not going to skip to 2022. And there's a lot of chaos that comes from people having been thrown back into that year with their loved ones and people that tried to move on and so on and so forth. I don't know. I guess maybe the writers are trying to make impact for the. I think they're trying to make more impact for the beginning of the movie when Steve is there having the counseling groups and Black Widow and the rest of the Avengers trying to move. I guess they're trying to make sure that that's not invalidated and that Tony's daughter's not invalidated. But I don't really. That seems like a very selfish decision that's not attacked enough or like not critiqued enough. But we could be on that one for a little bit, so I'll tease it. Tom, you had a short thought on it?
Yeah, it is the ultimate expression of Tony's privilege in that he's like, hey, listen, I want everybody to come back, but my daughter stays. And I mean, in some ways, the humanity of me understands that, but also you're talking about, at least on Earth, 3 billion people versus your daughter. And I have other thoughts about the snap that Tina Davis and I were talking about, like the repercussions, like people that were snapped out of a plane and they were snapped back at 30,000 feet and there was no plane. What happens to them? Like we had, I did appreciate that about WandaVision, that they showed some of the terror about the snapback, or is it the blip?
The blip.
Yes.
Which also, that's dumb. I hate that. Thanks, Spider-Man.
But, Spider-Man, like it was a joke. Basketball game gets interrupted by a band that just shows up, and other things like that. But man, like there were so many people that probably died after the blip immediately because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah. I feel like the Russos may have said something on their Twitter, so I do need to go back and hunt that down. If like when Hulk did his snap put people back in safe positions, like taking that into account. But gosh, the mental energy you would need to do that, or maybe the stones help you out in that way. It's like as you're making the wish, that maybe they're just like, yeah, sure, of course, everyone's fine, But to your point, you can only be so safe, right? You got to think 4-dimensionally, Marty.
Exactly.
You maybe even if you didn't put them in front of harm's way of or like being in a plane that's no longer there, what if you accidentally put them in a street?
So that they're crossing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. But yeah, Tony, save your daughter. It's all great. That's why I didn't want to start this one yet. That's why I didn't want to start this one yet.
So moving on.
Taryn, Tony could have kept his kid and put everyone back to 2017. There's an option, too. There's an option.
That is true.
Cool. All right. Yes, Tom. Moving on. So, more Disney news. Disney's been a little busy on Disney Plus. They that service that was, to be fair, it was struggling when it came out. Even though we have eventually figured Disney would get their act together, it was struggling there for a little bit because it was just Disney animated movies and a Jeff Goldblum show that nobody cared about. So they're like, we need content. After 2 successful seasons of The Mandalorian, now WandaVision, and add in all the Hulu and ESPN bundles, Disney Plus is doing really solid. So much so that they've passed 100 million global subscribers in just 16 months. And,
in spite of Ben Shapiro trying to cancel Disney because they got rid of Gina.
Mm-hmm. And so that came up in the shareholders meeting where this was announced about the subscriber mark. And I'm not saying Bob Chapek did a terrible job, but it's it's kind of a blah statement. I think you could have, maybe he didn't want to throw the hammer down on a shareholder. I get it, but during it, one shareholder said there's an obvious new Disney blacklist, calling out Gina Carano when Pedro Pascal tweeted basically the same thing. But Chapek said, I don't see Disney standing as a left-leaning or right-leaning company. Now, he may actually be, given how their track record, he probably accurate about that. I know people were talking about the firing of Gina, but we also said Gina probably should have been fired. No, not probably. Should have been fired much longer than, earlier than that, and or had she shown contrition and wanted to make changes on what she was spouting on Twitter. I mean, because again, it's not about necessarily firing, it's about correcting behavior. So, in that regard, they didn't really care. So even if they're not right-leaning or left-leaning, I'm not really here to have that argument. But they are a business that makes money, so it was more about what hit the bottom line than hitting a particular philosophy in my regard. Not to mention that the Pedro Pascal tweet they're talking about was one tweet that he promptly apologized for. We're not talking about someone that's doubled down and then doubled down and then doubled down and then chose to keep.
And not only just doubled down, but split the aces too while they were at it, because then they started, Gina started making other like switching from like transphobia to anti-Semitism, and it's just like, whoa, wait, what? So yeah, there was absolutely no. I mean, as somebody who's managed people, there's no recovering from something like that. Mm-hmm. Like, you say, hey, don't say that again. Oh, no, I will say that again, and I'm going to accuse you of something terrible in the process of me saying it again, and just
the first one's pretty self-explanatory. The second one though is a little. I'm intrigued by it. I think this is where I want to say on it. So someone asked, are they going to fire Kathleen Kennedy and put Filoni in charge? Chapek's response, we've been thrilled to have creative talent, the likes of Kathy Kennedy, to run Lucasfilm and look forward to her running it for many years to come.
I'm struggling with that one. Because
go ahead.
I think I was not happy with the way that Kathleen Kennedy handled 8 and 9. And there's a part of me that has a lot of love for Dave Filoni, and I think that he would be great at it. But I don't know the full story behind Kathleen Kennedy's involvement in a lot of the choices that they made, like basically retconning Ryan's entire concept and not going forward with that. They were very wishy-washy during the films or during the trilogy. But if Kathleen has a hand in making the Mandalorian real, okay, I'll give her credit for that.
Yeah, that sounds like, and I want to say, I think we were pulling this from a Twitter account. I apologize, I do not have the name up on my notes, so I'll try to give proper credit for that later. We are also referencing an article from the Mary Sue, which I normally would. I'm not even trying to disagree with them. That's not what I'm actually saying. It's just I think the Kathleen comment's a little more complicated than just saying it's outright sexism. It's one of those things of like it could be sexism. It can also be hitting that person's motive or intent may be coming from a sexist place, but I don't think it's incorrect to question some of the decisions that have been made. Maybe that's where we could couch it at.
I would agree that's kind of my take as well, is that person may have been coming from a sexist place, but it is worthy to talk about some of the choices that were made.
Yeah. And honestly, my one fix is not about necessarily who's director or so on and so forth. It's just what was the overall plan for these movies. And I think when you go back and rewatch them, it doesn't seem like there was one. But then TV seems like they finally put together a roadmap and are really going to be able to stick to that. And hopefully, with whichever future movies like the Ryan Johnson trilogy that he gets to do, again, he kind of gets to see that through the entire way. So it may have sucked that we got kind of an up and down sequel trilogy, but if it also created some lessons learned, you know, we might be in for a really good like renaissance of Star Wars so far, especially in TV. We are experiencing that.
I genuinely think that they dropped the ball in the trilogies, and a part of that is because I think they treated the trilogy one movie at a time. They didn't write out the entire trilogy. No one had a full storyboard. Whereas with the TV series, you have to have an entire season's worth of story. And like The Mandalorian was basically, 9 hours of TV or entertainment, which is basically the trilogy. So, if they treated the trilogy like it was a series as opposed to 3 individual movies, which I think they did, it would have been much better.
Yeah. But the one thing I've always defended Kathleen for is she has been an executive producer on some of the pieces of fandom everyone holds dear. Like, it's amazing to me that people were shitting on her for the sequel trilogy, and it's like, she's helped out Lucasfilm on a variety of the other, like the prequel and the original. Not the original so much. And then Indiana Jones. That's Kathleen Kennedy. And was it Casting Castar as well? There's like a bunch of other folks that are in that, but it's like I think I've kind of forgotten she does know what she's doing. Maybe she's more hands off with the Star Wars trilogy. That could also be the case too. Of like she put the pieces in place and the particular pieces didn't execute the way she thought they were going to either. And then by the time you try to make course corrections, it's like you've already kind of gone down a hard path to like pull the reins on. It's like, shoot.
Yeah, maybe her giant mistake was, JJ's got it. He'll figure it out.
Yeah, and the other thing that should be noted, I think she offered all 3 to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I am very curious. Again, I could rag on JJ for a lot of things, but I am wondering, like, would it have been more coherent having him do all 3, or having Ryan Johnson do all 3, or even Colin Trevorrow, who I know was going to do the 3rd movie, having him do all 3.
Yep.
Let's see. Lindy Fitness saying justice for Finn. Sorry, we'll get back to that in a second. Go ahead, Tom.
To your point, though, about Kathleen Kennedy, it's not just Indiana Jones. Like, she did Schindler's List. She was an EP on that. She did Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
We won't talk about Twister.
Hey, I like Twister.
She did Munich. Munich is such a badass film. So yeah, she is a better producer than any other person who is going to ever comment about Kathleen Kennedy's career will ever be. But that's not to say that she might have made a mistake in the trilogies.
Yeah. Was it Twister is trash? You talking about the game? Surely you're not talking about the movie. That's the best weather movie ever made. You're gonna drive a truck into a tornado, and everything will be fine.
Okay.
That movie is ridiculous.
Oh crap! She was a co-executive producer on Inner Space, and also Batteries Not, or she was an EP on Batteries Not Included. Wow! And she was a producer on ET.
Italian. That's what I was thinking about. ET. I was like, it's not Star. She didn't do Star. She didn't help on the early Star Wars, but it was ET. Taryn says Twister the movie is trash, as is The Perfect Storm. Y'all, come on.
You're just salty because they made you watch a movie where you knew everyone was going to die in the end anyway. Yeah, that was rough. All right, we got 2 quick news bits, and then we're going to get to WandaVision. Bruce Campbell has confirmed Evil Rye's dead
Or oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Take that, flip it and reverse it. Rise Dead Evil. That still didn't fix it. Anagram. Evil Dead Rise will start filming later this year in New Zealand with director Lee Cronin. He recently did The Hole in the Ground. Bruce Campbell is going to be producing. We'll have some role in the film, but I think we've got a new cast coming in to take on the major lifting on this one. So not a straight up Ash movie, but yeah, I like Evil Dead.
I like Bruce Campbell, and anytime that he gets work, I'm happy.
Lindy Fitness like that was a botch. Most certainly it was. I'm expecting Taryn to clip it, put it in my inbox, and then shame me for it.
Rub your nose in it.
Rubbing my nose in it. Rubbing my nose in it.
I mean, yeah, with Bruce Campbell, like he was probably a good 45% of why I watched Burn Notice all the way through.
Yep, Lenny Fitness concurs. Was it Sam, right?
Yep.
That's a good show.
Yes, it is. I kind of that's a show that I feel like I have mixed feelings about them remaking it, because I think that they could fix some things that they missed.
Is that a thing happening?
No, but I mean, considering that they're remaking True Blood, why not?
That just, oh God.
I don't understand what story that was that they
like
failed
what wasn't
to tell.
told.
Yeah, like that. I mean, it's True Blood is great. That's one of my comfort shows.
Really?
It is a trashy novel it's a live action trashy novel.
Okay, got it.
And
it's understanding the appeal now. Got it.
Yeah, it's dumb. It knows it's dumb. It knows when the plot gets boring that they should have a sex scene, and it's always ridiculous. And like it's almost like it's as campy as Quentin Tarantino in like whenever vampires are involved or they're fighting, somebody gets covered in blood, and it's absolutely. And then inevitably, while covered in blood, they start making out with somebody. It just, yeah.
Gross.
Yes.
Germs.
But also hilarious.
Germs. All right. Our last bit of... Wait, hold up. Taryn said, yeah, I watched Burn Notice season 1 back in 2009. I've actually wondered how it would hold up in the present.
I think it does okay.
I mean, it is a USA Network show. So there's going to be some things they're on the ball about. And then... Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think if there was. I don't think there was anything overtly sexist, and I think that. Yeah, I think it would do okay. I'm gonna have to rewatch, maybe, because I'm out of things to watch, so maybe I will watch that. My name is Michael Weston. I used to be a spy until.
We also get one of the last appearances from the dad from Frasier. I can't remember what his.
Oh yes.
Oh, what's the actor's name though? I can't remember it off the top of my head. Going to a comment from Lindy Fitness. We're talking about Suits. I just heard sex scenes when plot gets boring. Ha! Oh God, Suits is terrible. Suits is awful. I should not like that show. It is atrocious. I should hate watch it for you all and put I should hate watch it and then just call out all the things that are problematic in it. And if you watch Legal Eagle on YouTube, his breakdowns of the problems in Suits is also great.
But Meghan Markle.
I know. I get it. That's not. So the actors performing in the show is great. So Gina Torres, everyone out in this movie, in the show, is doing a fantastic job with what they're given. Like they're just eating up scenery. It's kind of like if you watch Boston, The Practice, or is it LA legal? The practice was the one toward the end where Alan Shore is the character's name, but he plays Ultron. Dang it.
Oh, Wood. No, not James Wood.
James Spader.
James Spader, yes.
James Spader. Terrence saying it is Boston Legal. Yeah, so because he starts in the end of the practice, then he goes to Boston Legal, and then like so that one's it's him, Candace Bergen, and Kirk, William Shatner just eating up scenery. I love it. That's what Suits is. It's just a bunch of lawyers making up a bunch of jibber jabber and just eating up scenery. It's beautiful. But they're terrible people, breaking the law at every turn, and we're supposed to kind of just, oh, it's all fine, isn't it? Yeah. No, it's not. No. It's really not. It's just, don't emulate those people. Like, he should have told Mike, hey, I will pay. Hey, you know what he could have done? He said, I will pay for you to go to legal school, just so that we don't have this weight of you being an illegal practicer of the law hanging over our heads and potentially threatening every case and legal suit we've ever touched the entire show. Because, well, you know what would happen in real life? Every person that he's ever worked a case for could come back and claim malpractice. Malpractice may not be the correct term, but something in that ballpark. Of like, you lied, son. You lied. Oh, gosh. How did we get on Suits? Fitness did this.
Yes.
I blame
you allowed Lindy Fitness to distract you.
They distracted me. All right. Our final news bit before we talk WandaVision. We got to talk about black urban cowboys. Idris Elba shot this film, Concrete Cowboys, back in 2019 in North Philadelphia, trying to capture the urban cowboy life. And Netflix has picked it up after it debuted. Oh, goodness. I feel like I got a sneeze coming on. And it just won't go. I'd rather just do it. Just sneeze.
In North Philadelphia, born and raised, is where this cowboy... Really? Sorry.
Did you? Really?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. So is this going to be a film or a documentary about
film.
urban cowboys?
It's a film that you've ruined with your Bel Air joke. Get your California out of my North Philly urban cowboy movie. Get it out of there. So I also like Idris Elba starring as the father, and the teenager Caleb McLaughlin. You may know him as wow, he's on Stranger Things, but I just forgot his name on Stranger Things. I want to say it's like Jacob or something, but that doesn't sound right. I
will find that. By the way, it was John Mahoney.
Mahoney. Oh. You know we're getting a Frasier reboot on Paramount Plus?
I heard, and
Miles is not coming back. Or Niles is not coming back.
Okay, so then it's just going to be not great.
I mean, their banter is what makes half the show. So,
yeah,
I mean,
like their petty back and forth was great. By the way, it is Lucas Sinclair.
Lucas, there we go. Lucas Sinclair. So yeah, Caleb McLaughlin's playing the Idris Elba's son in a movie. Someone that's being torn between a family tradition and the urban cowboy life, and then other interests in the community, or other problematic interests in the community. They're not very clear yet, and I have gotten to see the movie yet. So, oh
man, I'm actually really curious about this now, because is it going to be like, how serious is this going to be? It could be great either way if they do
very serious.
Like,
I have no idea.
But is it going to be like The Last Dragon, where like instead of a kung fu family or something like that, it's now
show enough?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't get the sense it's like that, but that would also be cool. We need a black cowboy western that's in that style.
Yes. And Idris can play the show enough cowboy.
Let him just ham it up.
Oh yes.
It's like, I'm a DJ. I'm a producer. I can. Oh gosh, I bet he can add. He'll add that BBC sketch is hilarious. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, I will find a link to it and put it in because where Idris Elba tries to fix everything. Doesn't he perform like surgery, try to defuse a bomb, or like try to operate a nuclear reactor? It just gets more and more absurd.
Yep.
Let's see. Lindy Fitness. The show was great. Then they got rid of the redheaded secretary.
The redheaded secretary.
They're talking about Suits.
Oh, we're done with Suits. We're beyond Suits.
Yeah, the whole last year and a half we've been done with Suits.
Yes.
And then stuff went downhill, and they brought her back to help her recover. And I'm mad that worked. You're right, it did work. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it worked. All right, our final topic, the main event, mano a mano. WandaVision episode 9 aired this past Friday, and we talked about it on Tuesday night with the quorum. Got really good fan reactions as far as how people felt about it. So I've got all that loaded up, ready to go, and I can present some of those thoughts. But I want to give the floor to Tom because I've not actually gotten to get his impressions. I think we talked 1 or 2 messages on chat, but I don't. So this would be my first time getting to hear what he thinks about it. And
I don't know if people are going to like it because I was.
Also, spoilers.
Yes. Oh, I'm frozen on Facebook right now.
Well, Facebook is terrible.
Oh, there I am. I think my body was just frozen.
Your body. Your body.
So,
Your body.
yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
It was an ending. Like, I didn't feel anything from this ending. I really didn't. It honestly, like, it rang like, I don't know.
Hollow. It wasn't magical for you.
I won't say it rang hollow. It rang like the end of Avengers 2.
Oh.
But
That's
with less stakes.
Less stakes?
Yes.
There's about 15 stakes over here. What are you talking about?
No, like, seriously, like, in the end of this, or in the end of Avengers 2, if they failed, there was going to be this life-ending event that happens. Whereas if they fail, there's really no clear consequence to if Wanda fails or not, other than, like, she might be a husk. But again, like, there wasn't a lot of stakes beyond Wanda's own survival and the survival of things that she loved, which were all fake.
Tom.
Yes.
Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Tom.
We're gonna break up here live, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I disagree with you on the stakes. Okay, let me see if I can. Let me see if
What stakes did you think were at play?
So there's the potential loss of her powers, because you're in a situation that you thought you understood, and then you clearly, this is more accidental than we realized, and that the powers that we've seen you display, as awesome as they are, it's also shown you still don't really have a grasp of them. So someone has come in who could really kick your ass. So, like, that's where I'm reading it between her and Agatha, is that those powers are pretty much gone. Like, yeah, she's giving you a bargain of, like, I'll fix the spell and let you live with your family here in this town. But even that's kind of it's like the military is, like, right outside the door. So there's not really any version of this that stays the same. like something has to change. It's like what that eventually is going to be is kind of in that unknown space. So I think where I could understand you on the regarding like the townsfolk and regarding Hex and regarding Vision and the kids is that there may not be like an immediate like whether they're going to be deaf or non-existence, but there is like a oh go ahead.
So like if she in the moment, and I'm not talking about the end, but in the moment of them fighting it out, Wanda was fighting for her to continue to enslave a whole bunch of people to, live out her grief fantasy and keep her fake kids and keep fake Vision. To me, that wasn't. I was disinterested in her fighting for that.
Let me sit up in my chair. No.
I mean, I think that some of the things that happened were pretty clever. Like, spoiler, her turning the Hex into the rune field and other things like that. I thought that was fun, but in the end, I
think where the disconnect may be coming from is that when the episode initially starts, it is unclear what Wanda is going to do yet. Like, we don't know what her final decision is going to be at. I think as the fight progresses, it becomes more and more clear, or maybe that didn't come across for you or other viewers. I thought it became more and more clear, like, this is crumbling before her eyes. There is no saving this. So, and particularly the moment when she tries to take down the Hex. She's even failing at that because she's now compromised because Vision's not going to be able to hold off White Vision anymore. Like, and then her kid, I forgot what happened with her and the kids there. I don't know if that was when they were fighting the military down there in the square or when that was getting ready to start and Monica hadn't shown up yet. So that's the scene for me where it's like she's starting to understand, like, this is even if she does end up, or she doesn't end up taking Agba's deal, and I think that's where those two connect, is that the Hex she's failing at taking down the Hex, but she's failing at taking down the Hex, so she's gonna have to figure something out here soon. But I think she's even in that moment starting to doubt what Agatha is telling her. They're like, "Oh yeah, I'll fix this for you, and you'll be able to." It's like, I think even in that moment, she's starting to doubt that.
Yeah, that and I think that kind of added to the stakes because when she offered to fix it, you're not going to fix it.
No.
And even if you do, no one's going to let you keep it.
Exactly.
And yeah, like it felt like I didn't feel the connection to Wanda as much as I thought I should have by the end of that. And that I think is I guess in my old age, what I'm looking for is emotional connections with people and a visceral understanding of why they are doing what they are doing and why they walk the path that they walked while I've been watching them. And I get the grief part. And I don't know, I guess it just, with Agatha, she just, it was here. It was there. And I don't know, I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around what I think about it, other than I felt a little bit of apathy, and I hope it's a setup for something better later. I don't know if this is a one-shot series, but
I get the suspicion it is going to be a one-shot.
Well, yeah, there's no more Vision really for Wanda to envision.
Well,
yeah, we'll see what happens with Pink Vision. But
Pink Vision.
Yes.
So let me get to the comments a little bit. Nal's asking, what definition of stakes are you expecting? Which I think we just got on that. They do agree to the idea of stakes and what those are defined are as quite different in this from the general movies or other ideas of danger, etc. that we've seen. And then a follow-up question for you. Did you feel the episode before this was more emotionally charged or visceral than the finale?
I think so, yes. Because I didn't feel like by the time we were through the first 5-10 minutes of the final episode, the panic for her children that I felt in the previous episode wasn't there. Now she was fighting for herself more so than everything else, I think.
Yeah. I wonder if maybe like the kids being in peril would have, because I mean, once we see that Billy can stop, or we know one of them can run fast, but then one stops a bullet, and then Monica's also involved in helping stop that. Okay. I think I can track on that a little bit better. It's not like, because I know we get that Incredibles family shot, but it's not like the moment on the. I'm trying to think of a good way. It's not like it's not like Bob being stuck to a machine, thinking his kids are dead. It's not. It doesn't hit quite like that. Because I was gonna say after that point, pretty much once they're on the island, even though they get captured, there's not really a concern about the kids' danger per se because they're exhibiting their powers pretty well. The only moment later in that movie is when you actually have the drone attacking the city, and there's like a little bit of a moment of like, crap, we can't stop this thing. What's gonna? So I think to your point in the finale, there isn't a moment like that. It is pretty much Vision's losing when the Hex gets pulled apart. He's the one that probably has the most issues or during that sequence, but him and White Vision have more of their things off on the side. So yeah, I think I agree with you. If the kids' tension starts the episode, but then it's not maintained, and that probably would have made a bigger, like, to your point of her fighting for herself, like, which I don't think is what she's doing, but I think I could understand where it's like, but the tension of the episode doesn't connect to that. It's more between her and Agatha, and doesn't attach to the kids.
Yeah, it doesn't even, it hardly even attaches to Vision until the very end when the Hex starts to go away. Then it's just like, oh yeah, there was this man that I was in love with who was about to disappear after he downloaded himself into the white version of himself. And
well, he did download into the white version of himself.
Did he not?
He did not.
That was my impression when he okay, fine, he used his index finger to unlock his iPhone.
He unlocked himself. It's like, I'm gonna do you a favor, but aren't you me? I know. Yeah, you didn't have the fingerprint. So let's see. Nell saying, I also felt she was coming to terms with having to terminate the Hex, and therefore coming to the realization of having the kids end. Yeah,
but I didn't feel that until after Agatha was done. After the hullabaloo with Agatha was done, like there was, oh my god, my kids. Then, oh, I've got to fight Agatha. Oh, look over there, Vision's fighting himself. I got to defeat Agatha, and then she's like, oh, now I'm sad. Everything that I loved is going to go away, and like it just, if there was like this ABA. But I didn't feel like there was a connection between A to B back to A.
So it didn't resonate with you at all, Tom? Not at all.
Not as much as I would have liked.
So I think...
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you what to resonate with, because if it didn't resonate with you, it didn't resonate with you. So that's not.
Well, I'm searching for something. Like if there's something that I missed, which is possible, or it could just be that I'm just.
I mean, so there are some practical
a monster that doesn't care about.
So there are some practical things of. There was supposed to be 10 episodes. Part of it was getting filmed during COVID, so that when they came back, they had to cut an episode. So part of me wonders how much of the military White Vision stuff would have happened in the first part, or like in episode 9, to resolve some of that, so that it could have been her and Agatha resolving the witchcraft pieces for the finale, so that maybe she's come to terms with what she's going to have to do in episode 9, and then episode 10 is the now I know what I'm going to fight for, what I'm going to have to, the sacrifice I'm going to have to make when she's fighting Agatha. But by running both of those in parallel, really the sword was non-consequential, because it really became between Vision and White Vision, and they had the classic nega Scott Pilgrim conversation, which I love that meme going around right now. Of course I would talk to myself. No, I wouldn't fight myself. We would talk. We would have a conversation. Yeah. It's not just beating each other up. What are you talking about?
I did appreciate that, because that Vision was more of a talker than a fighter. But I will admit this. One, I watched episode 8 during a bout of insomnia at like 3 a.m. So, the existence of White Vision was a bit blurred to me, as to, because I couldn't for the life of me remember why he existed in episode 9 and why they were fighting in the first place. Other than I was just like, oh, Sword sent him in and decided to pick a fight. But again, like, there was it just like I don't remember it being that big enough of a moment for my mind to hold on to it at 3 a.m. while not being able to sleep.
Tom, you're killing me.
I know.
Tom, you're killing me. I can't with that one. I was with you. I know my face may have said otherwise, but I was like, I was with you until that one.
So, but it's more like, I felt like the whole, the White Vision thing was just, I don't know. I felt like it. Go ahead.
We'll come back. We can come back to White Vision in just a second. Shelby agrees with Tom. Shelby, let me know what pieces you're particularly agreeing with, if it's the entire piece. But he's also saying slightly hollow. So I think he's agreeing with your vibe and ebb and flow of the episode, the feeling of it. Then there's Vishan or Vishan. Black Twitter. Ever since he wore that turtleneck in the end of the finale, Black Twitter has been running with that. His little soul patch. The gold chain memes. We talked about this during the discussion last night. Black Twitter just gives me life, y'all. It really does. Whenever they just catch on to something, and you never know exactly what it's gonna be. That just gets in our heads, and then just memeage, the memeage that comes out of it.
The Meghan Markle interview is also a gold mine.
That's so good. Let's see what else is going on. Now says, I'd agree the episode before was so much stronger emotionally versus this one. It didn't feel a bit rushed comparison. Or saying it did feel rushed compared to the finale. Okay, sorry, got it. Flip it back and reverse it. You're saying the finale did feel rushed, and again, that could be the concept of what they had for 9 and 10 getting squeezed into 9 and not let it have a moment to breathe.
Yeah. I would agree, and also knowing the production notes, that seems to play into that, the theory of, maybe they rushed it and they didn't have enough time to create a stronger connection and a stronger case to care.
Yeah,
for Tom at least, because that's what it's all about.
Because I think all the threads are there, but to your point about not feeling it, it's like, yeah, but am I reading that compared to, like, am I having to read into the threads that are there, or like what is actually presented in the narrative? And I think I could argue, or sorry, I think I can understand that, like, I'm pulling from the rest of the series, but what's presented in the finale, it's like, I think that's fair. It's like they don't necessarily hit the beads that they've already developed well enough. And again, because the sword piece is almost basically, it feels dropped. I love the White Vision and Vision conversation, the ship of Theseus. Like, I think that is a fantastic conversation. Was not expecting that in-depth of a AI conversation during that finale. mwah,
a sophomore year freshman discussion, a freshman philosophy discussion,
but
or sophomore.
but it's like a Dormammu. It's things that I think were genius, and I talked about this Tuesday, was the fight gave me kind of I'm gonna give you a classic dose of your own medicine. You want power, so take the power, and you're not gonna be able to handle it. That's what it felt like, but there's those moments where she's missing, and you're like, what's going on there? And then we find out about the turn. I'm gonna turn my hex into I'm gonna put my runes up. So a call back to the previous episode. Great, love it, because you kind of got that red herring of the like siphon power, and then nope, this is what's actually going on. And then going to the ship of Theseus, it's like that felt very Dormammu. Let's talk it. I'm going to set up a situation that forces you to. So, and in the Dormammu situation, it was I'm going to force you to bargain with me. And in this situation, it's like because of who we are, this fight is pointless. It's like I'm in the hex. You're not really going to be able to beat me with as long as the hex is up. And again, whatever powers White Vision has, you're not really going to build it. You don't really have the Mind Stone either, so you're not really going to be able to do anything either. You're kind of he's using hex power anyway, so that thing was going to be canceled out regardless. So we have to talk. So I loved the smart ending for Wanda's fight, and I loved the intellectual conversation for Vision. I just felt like that was really good.
I thought those two were great as well. And it's I guess I also wanted, and I've come to expect from Marvel, a direction, an ending of a show or a movie should also have a bit of a direction, a handoff somewhere. I didn't feel that was there, except for like hey, you want to go to space? By the way, I'm an alien. And other things like that for Rambo. That was cool, but at the same time, again, there's just like, so what's Wanda gonna do? Where's it gonna go? Like, not even like a wandering off.
Oh no, okay, I disagree with you on that.
Okay,
because the conversation with Monica, it ties up the, and I talked about this on Tuesday. I'll just keep saying it. Fine, talk about it on Tuesday.
So you keep saying it.
Is that one? I think the amount of conversation they had was the right amount because they are not friends. So if anyone was asking for more, I'm like, if they all of a sudden became chummy right there in that moment, that would have been weird. So no, like she was doing her job as a sword agent, but one that has way more compassion in this moment because of things she's gone through, and that's what they're connected on. Is that, hey, if I had your powers, I might have done the same thing for my mom. And I'm like, yes. It's like, got it. Cool. And having the townsfolk there, and like at that tension, if we're talking about tension during the episode, I think like that was probably one of the better moments.
Yeah.
That was like,
did I do that?
And it harkens back to early in the episode when they're Agatha's dropping them out of the mind control. Oof. That was good. But the conversation ends with them having you should get out of here. Like, don't hang around, and I'm going to go figure out these powers. Like, that's what I need to go spend time doing. It's like, I need to go figure this out. Because she does very clearly say that. So to me, if you're talking about a handoff, that's what but unless you're talking more of a direct tease of like, I know they did it in the post credits, unless you really want a direct tease of like, this is what I'm going to go do later. But again, I don't think they did that because I don't think there's going to be another. I don't think there's going to be a season 2. So I think the Easter eggs, the post credits things we get are for other Marvel properties. So they needed to let like the narrative of the show. Let's tie that off in a nice bow. We'll cut that off, and then the post credits are going to be the teases for Captain Marvel 2 and then Doctor Strange.
And to Nell's point, I'll admit, I don't remember much from the post credits because I was just by the end of that. But 2, I know that post credits are supposed to be part of Marvel canon. But if you're relying on a post-credit to wrap up the main story, I think that that's a failure. Post-credit's always supposed to have been like a tease for what's coming next, which they did with Rambo. But
okay. If you didn't see, all right, ignore the post credits for a moment. Is the show resolved by the time before the credits come on?
Yes, it is, and but it's resolved. I wouldn't call it resolved. I wouldn't necessarily call it resolved. I would call it finished, and that is very different from resolved.
Okay,
or I would call it
fine.
over.
This arc is resolved, but now we get ready to start the Saiyan saga. Right, we're getting ready to start Namek. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I will. And I don't necessarily agree with Nell that her grief is finished and resolved. That's no. That it is just there's a difference between coming to terms with and then resolving it. And yes, I do nitpick.
Tom nitpicks stuff like Shelby does. Yeah, y'all would get along.
That or we're gonna have very bloody battles about pedantic nitpicking.
Oh, so I shouldn't get you both started on The Good Place. I fractured their friendship before it started.
Does Shelby not like The Good Place?
Shelby does not like The Good Place.
Uh-oh.
Evil.
What's not to love about a moral philosophy professor saving the universe?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Wow, Kenny, you just threw that out there. Yeah, before you two got too chummy, I wanted to set the record straight.
Shelby, we're not allowed to be friends. That'll make Kenny jealous.
Yeah, you can't have more than 2 black friends.
Well, then you're in trouble, actually.
Dang, Chef, I wasn't trying to call you out. That's not what I meant. I just meant like nobody likes moral philosophy professors, Tom.
Yes, which is exactly why it's touching that he saves the universe.
I mean, if it wasn't Michael Schur that had written it, I would have thought that a moral philosophy professor had written it so that they could put themselves in a heroic role.
Michael Schur actually minored in moral philosophy in college and was made fun of the entire time.
Really?
Maybe. I hope so.
God, I want to find that out.
I hope that, and I hope it.
Please tell me he's like an adjunct professor for at least a year, and also taught.
Just so that The Good Place could just be his giant middle finger to all the people that made fun of him in college. So what was your true motivation for writing The Good Place? Spite, vengeance.
I would do some shit like that. It'd be very much like Michael Jordan making up slights to just keep himself fueled. Being like, did they actually say that to you? Like, no. But I need it
in my heart.
Let's see. I respect things done out of spite. Shelby says. All right. So there's our WandaVision thoughts. I think overall, I'm gonna do a season recap here probably pretty soon. No, I did not do a review of every episode. I think Penny Dreadful City of Angels just spanked me so hard that I'm a little gun shy to keep doing TV reviews. So I did it for Westworld. Jen started doing it for Penny, and I was like, yeah,
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Plus, TV is so long, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like, movie 2 hours, bing bang boom, right, shoot the thing. TV, that's 9 hours, folks, ish.
Someday, though, you and I are going to have a disagreement, and there will be a bet. And if I am 100% confident about that, the stakes are going to be, you are going to have to do an episode by episode review of Supernatural.
Ah.
Yes, I'm a cruel person.
And I want people to be clear. Like, I actually like Supernatural, so this is not my face of disgust. Is not from the content; it's from the length.
Yes, because nearly 20 years, 20 seasons of this show.
It's like, I want you to review all of Shakespeare and the original Klingon. That's what that.
No, there's less of that than there is of Supernatural.
What I mean, we know the Klingon language, so someone surely has converted all that.
Oh yeah,
over as a joke. I am willing to bet there's a fan that's converted that over and to put in like a PDF so that they could read Shakespeare and Klingon.
There are more Supernatural episodes than I think there are Star Trek episodes.
Yeah. Oh man, I got exhausted thinking about that.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I just thought, there may not be more. There might just barely. There may not be more, just because of TNG, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, Discovery, and obviously the original series. So it might be close.
I'm going to find this out right now because that's.
Well, while Tom is pulling that up. Thank you all
Star Trek, I think they did their 1000th episode.
Wait, was that the triple episode in DS9?
I think so. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. While you're pulling that up, thank you all for joining us tonight, and definitely love having the conversations on WandaVision with you all. So please keep those comments coming whenever we're doing this show. That helps us. One, I want to see your comments. And I'll definitely try to get to them during the show. Me and Tom like reacting to y'all. Makes our job a lot more fun here. Tomorrow night, if you need your sci-fi fix, Red Shirt Rejects will be on with Trevor and Kyle. I'll be in the producer chair for that one. And then we'll be talking Wrath of Khan. Oh. So that will be starting at... last time was 9 p.m. Central. I'm going to talk to them and see if that will happen at 8. But look for the update on the Facebook page to get the actual time. So yeah, because I prefer starting a little early, but we shall see. I think that's all we got coming up for the rest of the week. We got some other projects that I teased last night about some nerd battles of actually setting up some opportunities for people to. The one we teased was who was your favorite captain? And not just Star Trek. Like, who's your favorite sci-fi captain?
Ugh, then it's Adama.
Just automatically, it's Adama. I think. See, that's why I think the conversation would be interesting. You know, so but yeah, we'll let people know that's going to start in Discord. We got a fun event we're going to start planning. Hopefully, start in April. And let you know when that gets happening. So I teased that Tuesday night. I'll start putting nuggets or start putting little drips of it here. Tom, did you get that number of episodes?
Yes, it is only 320 episodes, and which is super surprising. And you know what beats it out? Grey's Anatomy. So maybe I'll switch it to Grey's Anatomy.
That's cruel and unusual punishment.
Yes. I admit this.
Wait, so if I won the bet, what would you have to do?
I don't know. You'd have to think of something cruel and unusual. And tedious.
You got to host a show. No, I'll think about it. I'll come back next week and I'll have it. So, but so then we put
that or you could just demote me to private.
That's not tedious.
That is. Wait.
I mean, working your way back up from private. Yes, that is tedious. But on a fictional show with fictional ranks, come on.
It's real to me.
Let me go for some last comments. Nell says, I'll dress up as Peggy and be there for moral support of all the captains. I almost want to just call it Captain's Week. And we could have the Star Trek Captains debate on that week. So I'll do it on a week that we had Retro Rejects. We can talk about those captains. Maybe also do like a black captains version. Like, who's your favorite black captain in media? Didn't have the full-on debate. It's like, all right, who's your favorite sci-fi captain? I almost want to do Commander as well, just because that might. But I think people understand what we mean when we say captain. I think they know like who's in that position. It's like rank be darned, even if they aren't actually a captain. Because Dama would technically be an admiral, but we know he's the captain.
Yes.
So. All right. Nice. Shelby said paperwork. Wait, paperwork? In reference to what?
I will be right back.
Tom, we can close off right now.
Okay.
All right. Tom's got to go. Probably needs to release the I'm not going to finish that joke. That was going to get weird. That was going to get weird. Everyone thank me for not making the joke that I was going to make.
I'm a little disappointed that you didn't, but
again, thank you all for joining us. Shout out to our Patreon. Paperwork for Tom being private. Gotcha.
Oh, yes.
That's so much paperwork. Make him fill out the paperwork. Got it. Still fictional paperwork. It's not the same. Like my fictional nerd union contract. You'll get that joke if you've read something. I'll make a link to it later. All right. Thank you all for joining us. Love the WandaVision conversation. We'll see you all next week.